right, I have Patrick here with me. He's going to tell you a little bit about Detroit sports. So, Patrick, what's your favorite sports team in Detroit right now?
It's got to be the Pistons
Pistons. Why is that?
because they're Detroit Hustle.
Okay.
And you heard of the Bad Boys.
Yeah.
It's a good documentary. And I used to play basketball back in my younger days.
Okay.
I enjoy it.
All right, so about the Bad Boys, do you think like during that time the economy was better than it is now because of the Pistons like not doing as well as they did back then?
Well, yeah, back in the early 80s, they were sucking it up. And then when they got Isaiah Thomas and they signed a bunch of free agents,
Mhm.
they got a bunch of better people that really care about winning. And that caused higher attendance at the games.
Okay.
And then it caused them to play harder every game, which actually caused them to win back-to-back championships.
So like, does that affect the economy in any way?
Oh, yes, it does.
How
Yes.
so?
If the team's doing better, fans will buy more jerseys. They'll pay for higher price tickets. They'll sell out the press boxes. It just causes the economy to grow.
So it like helps businesses grow
Yeah,
and it helps the people's morale in the city also grow.
right.
Alright, so any other like sport like you see you have a Detroit Tigers hat on. Do you think like them making it always that far and then sucking it up in the playoffs? Do you think that affects anything? Like does it take away from the fact that they still win in the regular season?
Well, they could win in the regular season, like Comerica Park's right in downtown Detroit, so it causes all the fans to either go out to dinner or something afterwards. And I don't really think it matters whether you're in the playoffs because you're gonna go to the games anyway. It's
Okay.
just-
So this is one last question. So do you think because back in the '90s, I wouldn't say all Detroit sports were a little bit better than they were right now
Yeah, true.
on average.
Yeah.
Do you think back in the '90s that the economy was better than it is now?
Well, everyone knows that Detroit filed bankruptcy about 4 years ago,
Mhm.
2 years ago. So of course it's better back then, but it's rising. And the sports were better. I mean, sports are not too bad right now,
Mhm.
but still, I think it has a correlation.
All right, thank you.
Wings.
Yeah.
You know, they were part of the original six hockey team. Go back way in the day. One of the most successful hockey teams behind the Montreal Canadiens, and I believe it's a center of the city of Detroit.
With them making the playoffs every year, do you think that affects the economy in any way?
Oh yeah, I mean people come back to watch every year. They always buy playoff tickets early because they just have a feeling they'll make it far every year, and you know they always boost the economy with more spending. Everyone, you know, it's not in center Detroit, but it's close enough where you can go to the local eateries and all the stuff like
Mhm.
that. So I mean, with more money being floated around, it's definitely gonna help.
So you as a fan, do you feel any better about like your city when sports teams are doing good? Like the Lions haven't done good in who knows how long.
That's true.
And the Pistons, I mean, this year they're doing all right, but you know they've made nothing since 2008. So like, what do you think? Like, as a fan, how does that make you feel?
I mean, it brings more pride to be near the city and part of the city.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everyone around always feels like more united when a sports team
Mm-hmm.
does well or brings home a championship. I mean, they always have like in Chicago last year when the Blackhawks won, everyone came together. You know, probably spent a lot of money putting back in the economy when they had the parade going on. So I mean, whenever a team can go far, it definitely makes you feel proud on the inside, even if you're not part of the team.
All right, so you would have to say that the economy is affected largely on sports in Detroit.
I would say so.
All right, thank you very much, Tyler.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, guys. Detroit's economy is really, really bad right now, and I have like a good feeling that it really has to do with the sports. I mean, the Lions haven't done anything in who knows how long. They haven't even won a Super Bowl ever since it was the Super Bowl era. So, and they always just seem to disappoint, and I believe this affects a lot of people greatly because the cities grow on good sports because of businesses. For example, LeBron leaving Cleveland in 2010, that was devastating to their economy. Everything went down, stores had to shut down, their downtown wasn't even the same as it was. 4 years later, he comes back and everything's back booming. Everybody was happy, everybody was was just great. And I feel like if any sport of ours would just do somewhat decent, like make it far into the playoffs, like if the Pistons would just make it into the playoffs now, would be great because they haven't made it in such a long time. So this would help the economy greatly. And I just believe that the economy is always affected by sports in every city that you go to, and it just helps the fans just have something to look forward to, and there's always something to entertain them.